I'd say just put it on unfiltered, because also if it's cut and you leave those jokes in, if it's like cut in a certain way, it can make it look racist or homophobic or paedophile, whatever.
Paedophilic.
But if they can see the full context, they're like, oh, that's where it started.
I don't know if I'm leaving those jokes.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
It's a knowledge school.
It's a knowledge school. It's not Sunday school.
Thank you for supporting our channel. Thank you for supporting Wizan. Please like, subscribe, comment, and hit the notification bell for any future videos. Today, Dave, we're here with Justin Sneddon, the Stormcab from YouTube, who is probably, I don't know, Justin, if you're proudest, but you're probably the third biggest or second biggest taxi driver on YouTube.
I gave up on it years ago.
Did you? I still watch your stuff regularly.
It's just the stuff that used to be there. I mean, used to attend the demos and things like that. They've dried up. So a lot of the time, things I used to film, it's kind of, they don't happen anymore. So
you're very active on Twitter, though, aren't you?
Oh yeah, because that's instant. You can just pop off, thoughts and have a laugh with people, and that's what I like about it. Actually, it's like cab drivers are a pain in the neck. They are the funnest people on Twitter.
Wow, I can't even tolerate it.
No,
I can't cope.
It's taken me, where are we now? I got on there 2009, and I've had parody accounts. I've had trolls going after me. I've had to block a lot of people. It just got to the point a few years ago where I'm like, they want you to block them so they can get the Medal of Honor. So I'm like, whatever, just take it. I don't give a monkeys. You're blocked, you won, whatever, just forget it. But it's so helpful. And it's like I usually give an example to people. Several years ago, I can't remember if it was 3 or 4, 5, 6. I was going to work one Friday night, started the cab, and went to drive out. I went, something's wrong here, what's going on? I went, no dash lights, nothing, not a single one, no dim, anything like that. So I tested a few things, tweeted it, all sorts of checked the fuses. I said, there are no fuses for the dash lights. So I went indoors, called the RAC. They came out, plugged it in, said, yeah, new dash. I went, okay, that's the weekend gone, and I'm out 1,500 quid, whatever. And then about 10 o'clock at night, one tweet came in from a driver saying, oh, yeah, this happened to me. My garage I rented from took it in, just said, take the plug out from the right side of your wheel, underneath the dash, put it in a few times, turn the wheel, the ignition, and it worked. It worked ever since. So it saved me $2,000. And that's the most extreme example, but many things has saved me money, hints, tips. Yeah, it's brilliant.
So it saved you money, but you lose your sanity.
It's one of those things. You can either be on there or you can't. Some people I'd say, do not, my wife, don't go on there. And I'm glad she doesn't, because sorry, I'm moaning about you a lot.
No.
That's if you've got any sanity to lose in the first place, though. So
No, I mean... There's no logical debate. It's just schoolboy stuff. You could say something where you're asking to be educated, but what you get as an answer is, oh, you big idiot, bully shit. And you think like, yeah, but...
That's the exact response I expect from them. And you've got to expect that. Sometimes I ask a question and I'm like, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to get 8 different answers from 3 different drivers, and that's what happens. And sometimes I just ask it. I'm like, you know what's going to happen, but I just put it on there. And I'm like, yep, I thought as much, and just get all this nonsense, and you just laugh, just because you just play with people, and they're playing with you, and then I mean, when you first get on there, you had to learn to get a sense of humor, because when it comes out on text, there's no tone, there's no body language, there's no eye contact, and you're like, who are you talking to? Like, mate, I'm joking. I'm like, oh, of course I knew that. Yeah, and then it takes years of sort of doing this, and you learn to add the little emoji. Always add the emoji, little laughing emoji, or passive aggressive. Just anything to make it. It's definitely a joke. Chill, But some people will just pop up every now and again, and it's just as soon as you can see they've crossed the line, block.
Yeah.
Just forget it and move on.
I had my one little Twitter story, because I do hate Twitter, and I don't go on there for anything other than to make an announcement or something. But I was having an argument or a debate with some people in the world, and I put up the classic, I thought a man of your calories would understand that. Now, what they don't understand is that the man of your calories is a joke on the man of your caliber. But instead, they see it as literal. And now they're grammatically correcting you, you idiot. It's a man of your caliber. And you think, yeah, I know, but maybe my humour is a bit beyond you.
Yeah, well, this, I mean, it's another thing is that happened last night. Somebody gave me an old £5 and £10 in a fair. It happens all the time. I know banks take it. I don't need to told that. I put it up as a saying, oh, look what some customers tried to slip in, which they did. They slipped it in, and I go to the bank. But I put it up, and I get like 20 people saying to me, the bank takes them, no problem. Thanks, mate. Yeah, it's like, I didn't know that. It's like, and you can't be educated.
I'll see you put it on. I see the tenor. I wasn't one of those that commented.
Yeah, and to be fair to a lot of the drivers, a lot of them are like, I've never seen their name before. So they're obviously haven't been following me long or whatever. And understandably, they don't understand that when you put out a lot of tweets, it's only for maybe 50 drivers who understand what's going on. And like, oh my God, like I've said this before, it's obviously that's what it is. So, but, you just got to learn to flow with that. But it's so much more helpful.
But yeah, I can't agree. I mean, I absolutely think Twitter is the worst, and I can't wait to see it go under.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
that's that would make me happy.
Really?
Yeah, let it go under. Well, just because I mean, Elon Musk, he started off. I quite liked him, and I thought, oh, the old idea, Tesla, it's all looking good. But slowly, he's gone down the ranks. So it's probably gone up in yours because you're a conspiracy theorist. So.
Conspiracy theories are just things that haven't been proved true yet.
Well, what's your biggest and best conspiracy?
Well, I'm not any of this flat Earth nonsense stuff. But then also, I will say that nothing is 100% like yes or no. We were taught that in physics. It's like you could, so what about if you flipped a coin? It could either land on either side of it or just continue stand up. Said, yeah, but there's a very tiny chance that it could explode. So that nothing is ever 100%. So did we land on the moon? Yeah, it's too many people to say they did. Flat Earth, it's ridiculous. Sounds ridiculous. But certain things like the COVID stuff.
You do realise you just said flat Earth and then but.
No, but and then moving on to other, COVID and things like that, which people can, through to conspiracy. But yeah, all I did was I followed people that were silenced from the beginning, doctors, scientists. And my problem has always been, why do these people never get put on TV? On these debates, what would stop conspiracies is having two sides to a debate. But when it's shut them off and suspend their accounts, disappear them off, and then everything you hear from the TV is just one line of thinking with no question. I'm like, no, something's wrong there.
So that's why, and you don't like Elon Musk, but he stopped that, isn't he? He's letting everyone speak.
No, he's anyone.
You just don't want the ones you don't like speaking.
No. I think it's more fun. I mean, I'm seeing this purely from an entertainment point of view. Musk goes on the idea of being the self-made man when his father owned an emerald mine. So you can't be literally self-made when your father already owned an emerald mine. And I'm looking at it from the entertainment value of watching somebody fall, purely. And obviously I've got no skin in the game, so it doesn't matter to me whether he's a success or not. And I liked Tesla. I just think he's gone a little bit too public with his personality. If you're going to be in his position, really and truly, you should just sit back, do your job, make the money, invest in the things you want to invest in. But I think he's decided to come forward as a bit of a personality.
But that's like while you do the podcast, it's promotion. It gets him out there.
True.
It puts him out, and he can answer his critics in person. He can go on to Joe Rogan and smoke a spliff, and and be one of the people, and you can, and anybody that argues with him at the end of the day, look, he's the richest person in the world. You've not saying you, but you've done nothing, mate. What have you? You're just some random on Twitter trying to take down the richest, most successful entrepreneur in history. Mm-hmm. It's like he probably knows a bit more than you about what to do and what not to do.
Well, you see his latest outbreak about Twitter or X. He's basically blaming the advertisers for pulling the advertising for the collapse of Twitter. When in actual fact they're pulling their advertising because of his behaviour. So he's the knock-on effect for the whole decline. It's
not because of his behaviour, it's because of they think what he says is anti-Semitic or anti-this or anti-that, yet they're doing it on they're allowing other things. He showed it on Facebook and Instagram. They're allowing things that they will pull in their advertising off of Twitter from. So it's hypocrisy.
He is a little anti-Ukraine.
So have a lot of us.
What do you mean anti-Ukraine? What do you mean by that?
He basically has been helping the Russians by pulling his satellites when they benefited the Ukrainians. Any little perks he could have given the Ukrainians to have a military advantage, he's tweaked it so that they couldn't. And he said some things, I think, publicly.
Well, when I say anti-Ukrainian, I don't mean anti-Ukraine. I mean the whole thing is just a money-making scheme for the defence contractors. And in 2017, multiple newspapers, I think it was 2017, said that Ukraine was the most corrupt country in Europe.
Yeah,
and loads of far right stuff and Nazi stuff, and suddenly, oh no, poor Ukraine. Like, let's send them loads of money. It's suddenly nothing they've done nothing wrong in the past. It's now we've got to help them out, and it's not that they don't. It just seems like one big money laundering, defense contractory scam, and then once they move on to the next thing, he's on the television begging for, oh, can you lend me some money? Mm-hmm. Now Israel and the Palestinian thing's taken off. It went from COVID to Ukraine to climate. The climate thing's still going on, and it's whatever thing is in the news. The other thing gets forgotten about for a while when people get bored of it or wise to it or get a few more sort of voices speaking from the other direction. And now it's like, hello, we're going after, all the news is Israel and Palestine now. Ukraine's almost forgotten. You never see anything about it.
You hardly see anything about it.
No.
You anti-Ukraine, Dave?
I'm not anything, really.
Can't be bothered.
No, I'm not really. What am I anything? I'm not.
I just like to be able to use critical thinking, to be able to question things, to use common sense. And, the thing about the main thing was that, before COVID, governments, what do you think of governments?
They're all this. Listen, I'll tell you what, let me tell you one thing that made me really think about governments was Nancy Pelosi. And Nancy Pelosi, the speaker in America, or was the speaker, and her husband's the best trader in the world, apparently. It had nothing to do, apparently, with the fact that she was in on all the committees, knowing all the deals that was coming up. So he invested in them. There's nothing to do. So once you realise that why people become politicians, because there's a lot of money to be made.
Yeah, because a president or a prime minister, they're only earning a few $100,000.
Yeah.
I looked last night. There's approximately 3,000 billionaires in the world. Do you really think a person earning $400,000 is pulling any strings or getting anything done? No.
Well, but isn't that exactly the same, but on a different scale, as you paying doorman to get for the fares on the hotels?
Oh, I wouldn't do that.
Bill Burr, you said you liked Bill Burr. Remember, he always pulls up these jokes about the Eyed Wide Shut parties.
Yeah. I haven't seen that one. Go on.
He spoke about them a couple of times, but he talks about, Eyes Wide Shut.
I never watched the movie.
Oh, no, well, I kind of gave up when it got to that bit in the film. It was like a high society film where they've all got prostitutes and watching pornography, and they're all doing these kind of like weird, what was the guy with the island? What was the guy with the private island where the Prince Andrew went to?
Oh, yeah.
Those kind of things where it's the ultra rich.
We've quickly forgot about him, haven't we? He hung himself
the
by...
guy that killed himself.
A whole list of people went missing. What was his name?
Well, I've got hers. Ghislaine Maxwell.
Epstein.
Yeah.
But it's like those kind of things where it's the ultra rich and the parties they hold. And, the things they must get up to. When you've got that kind of money, you're going to have entertainment that other people don't get access to.
Do you think there's a whole nother world that behind the scenes we never know about?
Well, we do. We know that happens because Epstein provided it. The funny thing, the controversy at the moment was, what's his name? Alex Jones. Did you hear about this?
No.
Do you know Alex Jones? He's the conspiracy theorist from America. And he predicted all these things like, and he said there's an island where they traffic underage children for sex with billionaires, and everyone, you're talking about, and it turned out to be true. And it's like, but then he got in massive trouble when he said something negative about a shooting. Like he said, I can't remember what it was, but it was something.
Oh, I do.
What was it?
Oh, he said that Sandy Hook was a fake. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
And saying like 16 children were murdered by a man, and he basically said it was all fake.
And he's discredited.
Oh, wow.
He destroyed all of his.
That's.
But he got thrown off Twitter, and Elon ran a poll and said, should we let him back on? And I think it was like 3-1, get him back on.
Yeah, but the 3-1 is becoming the fact that Elon Musk is leaning towards the far right agenda kind of thing. So the people that are on Twitter now could well be the population that like his thinking.
Well, this is the thing about if people keep being labelled far right, they're gonna, with this, everything at the moment is leaning very left, very
Far left.
Far left.
Well,
Well,
left.
it does.
You know,
I consider myself left, right?
Yeah,
But I am not into he, she, trans pronouns. Sorry, I think that you've done the transgendered badly.
Yeah, but the fact that you've said that automatically means you're right wing.
Yeah, you're far right.
Bigot.
No, yeah, I
you can't
can't
say that.
But I also very much believe in socialism and healthcare, and people should have social security and everything else. And you know,
What is far left?
well, far left is to think that.
It's easy. It's one word.
Oh, go on.
It's communism. What's far right? It's fascism.
Fascism, yeah.
If we don't have people like us in the middle pulling them either side in towards the middle, we would end up with either far left, far right, fascism or communism.
And when it
We
swings
don't want
too far
either.
one way,
Yes.
it's just going to swing back the other way. It needs to be.
They're two sides of the same coin. They just don't realise that they need each other.
So what I mean, you, Dave, you're far right.
I'm bang up
far
in the middle,
left.
mate.
Why do we all have to have labels? I don't get it.
I know that's
You
the
know what I
thing.
mean? It's like-
I'm watching a lot of far right material on YouTube and thinking I agree with that. So you're saying, oh, the lefties of doing this, and I'm saying, no, I'm not doing this. This is I agree with you. And
Yeah,
I'm
because
on the
if
left.
you had 7 different left-leaning ideas, but one tiny far-right thing, I don't think we should allow men identifying as women in women's lockers. Bigot, Nazi, no, you're far-right, gone. Just it's you can't please these people. They decide what you are and what you aren't.
Yeah.
And that's the far left sort of ideology. And what I'm saying to people, you really got to be careful, because when it swings that far left, you can already see it popping. You're saying about Elon, sort of the right are getting a stronghold. You know, like it's getting in there, and all you need is the wrong or right kind of leader to say the right kind of thing, and everyone sides with them. You know, and you get another.
Yeah, lost track.
Lost my train of thought.
Is it train of thought or chain of thought?
Train of thought. It's whatever you want it to be. English language is very.
I know. I think
malleable.
I saw a whole debate about the fact of whether it's a chain of thought or a train of thought. What's your bets on that, Dave?
Oh, well, I've always thought it was a train. I don't know why. I don't know why, and it's just a guess, really, because what I thought, I've assumed it is.
Well, they're both linked, aren't they? So a chain and a train are kind of, but a train's going somewhere, so the thoughts are progressing. I don't know. It's going to be train in it, I would think.
I don't know. Do you know, we'll have to look it up.
If I wasn't on a podcast, I would be. Isn't it brilliant how phones have ended so many arguments?
You do the gym, Justin, by the looks of it.
12 years now. Yeah, stuck to it. Stuck to it.
You're doing just weights or cardio?
I don't do any cardio at all.
Yeah.
I just don't get on with it. Just so some people run and they get a buzz out of it, and every time I try to go skipping, running, after 2 sessions, I'm like, I can't be bothered getting on that treadmill.
No, it's rubbish. I think anyone our age, you shouldn't run.
It.
You run, though.
Yeah, I used to run a lot. I used to run 10K every other day.
Yeah, but it's bad for you.
No, I love it. It's addictive. It's addictive. It was. I used to get really disappointed if I didn't go for a run.
I don't find it addictive at all.
The runner's high, they call it, don't they?
Yeah, I used to do 40K one week, 30 the next week, and carried on. It's only when I got greedy and I got good, this is years ago, that I did back-to-back days, started running every day.
What would you run in one session? In one run, what would you run?
10K.
Okay.
I'd go out and just run 10K. Yeah, I wouldn't.
That's a lot.
No, it's not. It's when you're doing it regularly, it's easy.
Dave, I walk 10K every day. I walk up the mountain and down again. I sometimes do 20K walking, which is nice and relaxed, but you still end up with really sore legs.
Hit the gym 45 minutes, do some deadlifts and squats, and that's all you'll ever need.
Well, I can't because my shoulders are ripped to pieces and I can't lift anything. I can't do a press up.
What's wrong with the shoulders?
I've got to have an operation where they're going to, the bone is touching and clamping on the tendons that are running through it. So I can't raise my arm up higher than this. So, and if I did a press up, it's no good. So, and I like press ups. I did like press ups. And I like
do other things, bicep curls, pull ups.
I used to do
hips.
I did. So look at that. But I can't do anything at the moment. I've got to wait for the operation. And he says to me I'll be as good as new after the operation. So we'll see. I've had 2 steroid injections. But as you get older, you get more and more knackered. If something breaks, it never bloody repairs. You need an operation rather than waiting for it.
Well, yeah, there's recovery. I listened to thousands and thousands of hours of medical sports training podcasts. And there's a lot that can be done. You just, first of all, you got to give your body the tools to rebuild, and we're all being pushed to eat vegan and eat less meat, and that's the most. Can you swear on this?
Yeah, swear. Yeah.
It's the most bullshit thing I've ever heard in my life.
I thought you said that big swear.
Yeah. No. I'll ease in gently. Put some lube on and it's going slowly. Red. I mean, I've eaten red meat almost every day for 6 years. My clarity, my health, everything has not been better. And
not just red meat. You're on the
no, I'm not. I've done
Jordan
Patterson. I've done the carnivore
Peterson.
a couple of times, But the problem is, it's the easiest way for me to lose weight when I've done I might go back to it next year, because at the moment I'm like over 16 stone, just because what's happening when I travel, I don't know what, it messes up my training. I almost like detrain as I travel. So when I get back, it sends my hunger into overdrive. But it's good. I'm putting lots of muscle. It's not like it's I'm massively overweight. But I liked when I was like 15 kilos lighter, I could jump around and climb stuff.
Yeah.
But the only way to get down there would be carnivore. The problem is with carnivore, I only have to touch a weight and I suddenly want carbs. So I have to I'm in this weird cycle of no weights at all and go carnivore, and the weight falls off. And I don't know what's causing that. But the traveling, I've noticed, I've been traveling a lot. Since COVID ended, I've just been going nuts.
Well, you've hit on the thing there that a lot of people don't realise. And the more you exert yourself, the more you want to eat. So exercise is not a way to lose weight. The best way to lose weight is a change of diet, and don't eat and don't exercise, don't exert too much, but stop eating so much. And maybe some light walking.
Technically the right food. When they say move more, eat less, it should be move more, eat right. Eat if you eat whole foods, food from animals, as they say, nose to tail, and good quality. If you want to go for it, rice, potatoes, pasta, the fuel, the workouts, your body knows when to stop eating. It'll I'm full. But if you give it the ultra processed stuff that's been engineered in a lab to overcome your mechanisms to say I've had enough, you can just keep chomping those tortillas back, and you've had 4,000 calories. You don't know when you've had 1,500, 1,000 calories of red meat, you're like, I don't want to eat for 7 hours. It's like that.
And it's slow digestive, isn't it, the meats?
Yeah, and it's got all the nutrients you need. That stuff, you're eating it, and the body's probably going, this is probably bro science, so to say. It's like you're eating it, and it's like you're not giving it, not actually nutrition it needs. It's just carbs and MSG and E numbers and all this stuff. It's not giving you any nutrients. So when you eat the red meat, it's like, man, that's got the vitamin B12, the folic acid, the protein, the fats, all the things that are the building blocks for the human body. And if you eat right, if you eat nose to tail, I eat 5 eggs a day. I've got, with me, I've had 2 lots of 20% fat mince as my 2 meals back to back.
What different
I've
words
got a question. I want to know the answer. Why Stormcab? And I think I know the answer.
2002, before the internet was really sort of, you was first getting into it, and eBay was out, just flicking through one of these collectors magazines, and they had a Stormtrooper for sale. It was like 1,300 quid.
You bought a Stormtrooper?
Yeah. This was 20 years ago, and my wife was like 1,300. I was like, come on, it's like a dream. It's like every kid would have loved a Stormtrooper, and it was out in Swindon, and we had to go out there for something. So I said, well, I go by the shop, and I gave him paid cash for it and got it for 1,100. And it was just, all it is cheap plastic. And this was before I was on any social media. And just got the idea of doing some, when I was in my 20s then, and I was like, I had enthusiasm. I was doing YouTube back then. So I stopped 10 years ago. And now Tom the taxi, he's taken over good, because he's young and energetic. And I'm like, whatever, I've not got the energy for it anymore. And I think at the beginning of YouTube, once I started just putting videos up, and this was back then, I could see the sort of nasty comments starting. And once you start getting popular, I noticed that certain groups of the cab trade were like, well, you're getting quite popular, you need to be more of a voice to do this, and have an opinion on that. And I'm like, I don't want an opinion on this, leave me alone. And it's kind of like, now I saw the nasty, I thought, what's this going to be like in 10, 15 years? The nastiness of the comments, how it's going to get really, and it has, death threats, all these things that people get. And I just forget it.
Took a turn.
Yeah, that's serious.
This is cab driver talk.
Yeah. Well, I've had death threats, David, as well.
Have you?
Yeah. When I first started, we used to send out free updates of things that changed, and we had to send them by post. So during the month, I would collect, this road's changed, this run has been updated, and compile a little update pack. And this guy said that you promised that you would send me these. Bear in mind, it costs probably cost £1 to send every one. It was. You said you'd send me these until I finished the knowledge, and I said, no, we can't do that. I'll send you them for a year. We send people with them for a year. He said, I'll come to your house and I'll pour petrol through your letterbox when you're sleeping, just because you're not going to send me updates. And you think, like, you're going to be a cab driver one day.
No, I don't think he is.
He is.
No, he ain't a cab driver now, is he?
I don't know if he still is, but I've
got a story that I couldn't tell on air because it would make us look bad.
It's not on air, though. It's radio. Go on.
No, sorry, on radio.
It makes us look bad, but tell it and I'll cut it out.
We'll cut it out.
One night, probably about 15 years ago, I got past the driver somehow, another cabbie. It was like he was mucking around, taking it too long. I can't remember what it was. It was New Oxford Street. And I went around him because he was mucking around. As soon as we were stopped in traffic, he came to my window and said, "I'll stab you." And went back to his cab. And he had customers and I had customers.
Yeah, so he may be a bit volatile, that guy.
It's the same guy as the guy with the petrol bomb.
All you got to do is keep it. You just got to keep calm during the appearances, and then once you're out there, you can be like, right,
There's some of, I mean, yeah. I mean, I've got some lovely students who I know that we know, who are very, very short-tempered, very having to control themselves, and all very moany, and the world is against them, and all they need is that little moment, you know. They're certainly not got any Buddhist sort of vein in their bodies where they can keep calm and meditate.
Yeah, because this kind of job would attract people. There's no boss. You can practically go on Twitter. It's the few places you can go and criticize your employer. You know, every driver, TFL this and TLPH, whatever it is, that and the useless this, and they don't get fired.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, even I'm like, could they one day to make a turn and say, well, it's easy to find out who Stormcab is, you know?
We saw something funny the other day, Dave, when it was that there was a guy tweeted the slags of the trade.
Oh, yeah.
And we were second. Wizam was second. Yeah. But in the list was LCDC, LTDA, the new cab people that have come along. He basically 10 categories in this. It was everybody in the trade.
Oh, yeah. I appeared on a cab driver's list of he listed about 7 or 8 drivers, and one was like, you know, prick this and self-entitled, and mine was childish, and I was kind of let down. I thought, is that you? But surely I've got, you know, but he listed a few like ones I've blocked or don't follow, whatever. And he even said in one of his further tweets was, I'm a bit pissed, but this is accurate. So he's obviously pissed, you know, and like I'm just going to go for it and say stuff. But we all in the past, I would have been offended by that.
Yeah.
You know, but then over years, you know, just play. The thing is to show that you can take a joke, you know. And a lot of people online have said to me, you can't take a joke, right? But when I've turned around and did what they've done to me, they go off screaming and crying. They expect that I've been expected over the years to just take it, you know. And when I've done it back, they've lost their temper and say, you know.
I wouldn't take any notice, though. Would you? Like that list you're talking about there, I didn't take any notice.
No, I don't take any notice of that. But the funny thing I find is this is why I don't go on Twitter as well. The person you're arguing with is a person you probably wouldn't give the time of day to in the pub. You know the man in the pub who talks like an idiot. Suddenly he's now got Twitter and he's faceless. And he's a genius. But in the pub, you can see who he is. So he's now telling you derogatory things as if he's superior. And you think like, and you do take it to heart a little bit more.
But then what you just said in that situation, take the life of the person who's talking to. Why were they talking to you like that? Why are they calling you those names? Their home life can't be very happy. Mm-hmm. Their mental state can't be very happy. No sane person with lovely wife, lovely kids, bills paid, they're sort of going through life, they're not sick or anything, is going on life going, all right, hun, I'll see you at 6 o'clock. You the wanky. Yeah, hun, I'll see you at 6, yeah. And then, you know,
back on it.
It's not like that.
No, you're right. They're not the sort of people you're going to want in your life anyway. So that's why I don't take any notice of them, anything like that. Well, I don't really get involved. I do follow things on Twitter just to see what's going on, but I don't get involved in it.
I'll tell you what upsets you is when you found yourself stepping into it and actually trying to debate it or argue it, and then you realise, oh shit, I actually got sucked down this little rabbit hole a little bit. It's time I step off because there's no winning. No. There's nothing.
You can't prove somebody online. The problem with online is once you've lost an argument online, people are fearful that you can just turn around if you say, remember that last time you were wrong. So they go into like, character assassination, says the guy who dresses up as a stormtrooper. Anything to sort of dismiss because you do this or you eat like that or you whatever. This is your little thing. Oh, you go and take some more bird pictures. Whatever. It's like, that's not an argument.
Are you a Twitcher?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen the pictures.
No, I didn't see any Twitcher because Alan Price was a Twitcher.
Where's your Rubik's Cube? Where's you go and lift your weights at the gym?
I can do a Rubik's Cube. About 4 minutes I am. I went to my friend's house thinking I was showing off. Look, I do it. And he was one of them 30-second guys. You one of them?
20-second guys.
No. Well, the fact is, though, being in, it's actually very, very easy.
Tell you what, who would be good at this? It's cab drivers. It's literally like doing a run.
Yeah.
Run is an algorithm. Yeah. So it's like, left into St. James's, right into da. That's what it is. It's left, right, up, lower.
Yeah.
It's your brain's already constructed to do it as a cab driver.
Very, very well. Maybe that's why I learned to do it. I mean, I just copied the algorithm. Once you know the algorithm, you follow it.
Yeah, you memorize it like you're memorizing. I mean, when I was doing the knowledge, one of the little tricks I did to learn differentiate streets and roads was I would colour a street in silver, silver, and roads red. And on the we're doing a Rubik's Cube, any left turn is blue and every right turn is red. So not only can I see the letter in my head, I can see the colour, and it helps it double stand out. So I use tricks from the knowledge to do the Rubik's. The
trick you just mentioned for the streets and roads, the one I would teach people is small and big. If you just take a sensation of small streets are small, roads are big. Not that it's a true fact. You just take that, and you can then, whenever you associate the things coming up is small, it's street. Coming up is big, it's road. And it's the same idea as making it a colour. Yeah.
Well, this is it. When everybody does, when I did the knowledge, I came and bought the books from you, but then I went off and did it on my own way. I did the CBT, but thought I can't go out on the bike, go to work, go to school, go have a home life. So I did it in a car. And I just did things I figured out my own ways of doing it, my own ways of memorizing things. And in my teens, I did buy a book by Tony Buzan. You heard of him?
No.
He was like the memory champion in the 80s or whatever. And in my teens, I learned how to memorize a pack of cards. And, I'd have to practice again, but I did it with 2 mistakes. So I sort of had memory techniques already before I became a cab driver, and I just applied them.
Yes. The thing about memory techniques that you teach people who are coming onto the knowledge is that they don't understand that learning memory techniques is a learning in itself. So you've already got that before you came to the knowledge. If you're now going to learn memory techniques as well as doing the knowledge, you're actually doing 2 subjects at once, and it starts to actually get a little bit harder. And a lot of the technique is already there, the memory techniques. We're telling them the simple memory techniques that they need.